Hi there, wish you a very happy Easter. This is a day where we need to reflect upon some aspects of religion. Jesus bore our sins and died for us so that we would be saved, which if not analyzed properly can create a lot of issues in our life. I think this is an auspicious day to start exercising thinking skills in our life. Let me just take up a story which I would want you to reflect upon. Now, this is a story of a man who loved God and who prayed a lot to God. He was a very prayerful person, and so he had this faith that God will never forsake him. He believed that no matter what, God will help him out in whatever situation. So what happened in his life was, in their land there was a flood. Even while the water level rose and it was up to the floor level of his house, he still believed that God would come and help him, and he wouldn't listen to people who would ask him to evacuate the house. So there was one of his neighbors who came up to him and said, "Come with me, we have to evacuate because the water is gonna rise." But he said, "No, I'm praying to God, he'll help me out of this situation." The water rose further and it was up to the knee level. Someone came rowing at his door and asked him to come with him because the water was going to rise further. But again he said, "I'm praying to God and he will never desert me. I won't come with you. I'll stay here. God will save me." The water level rose further and he had to stand on top of the roof. At that point of time, another person came in a helicopter and asked him to come with him. But he still wouldn't listen any of that. He was adamant that God's the one who would save him and he wouldn't budge. The inevitable happened. He drowned and he went to heaven because he was a good man. And at that point of time, when he met God, the first thing he asked was, "I trusted you. How could you desert me?" I suppose you might have heard this story. And what God said was, "I came to you 3 times, but you wouldn't come with me. You didn't take my hand out of the situation." Now the question that arises is, who deserted this person? Is it God who deserted him? Or is it his faulty understanding of God? The story of Easter and the story of Good Friday is that Jesus died for our sins and God sent his only Son to save us. This is the story that makes us believe that no matter what, God would save us out of our situation. But then this story sometimes makes us believe that it would happen automatically without any effort from us. We forget that along with this, it is also told to us that when we have the Eucharist, when we have the body of the risen Christ, we become Jesus Christ. God lives in us and he becomes us. So if you don't believe that, you would not be able to see God in other people. You would not be able to realize the God in you. And if you don't realize that there is God in you and there is God in others, you would never actually do your own part in saving yourself. God helps those who help themselves. In any situation, you have to remember that God is not something external and God cannot really help you if you refuse to help yourself. If you refuse to realize that God lives in you and God lives in others. Thank you. Have a blessed Good Friday and a very happy Easter.